Hello everyone, it's Lel, and it's time to talk about episode 24 from Wonderful PreCure, which was very surprising actually. I was not expecting this episode to go this hard, and I think this episode ended up being very important because of the egg, obviously, but there were some nice implications in certain moments that I feel like are going to be important for later, and also very important and very surprising because I was not expecting that at all for Yuki. Kurinyami, her character is being so explored in this season. I am loving her so much. The way they're working with Yuki, incredible, simply incredible. Anyways, let's talk about it. We have the girls going to, and another thing I love about this episode, very fast paced. Lots of things happened. They go back and forth and they don't waste any time. So we start the episode with the girls going to Niko Garden together with Satoru, and Daifuku is there. I'm very happy that Daifuku is now appearing in the scenes, even if it's just there with Satoru, but Daifuku's there, I'm happy. And so we see the swan back. The swan is weak. They give the swan a gummy. Oh, girl, imagine eating a gummy and getting all healthy again. Life could be that easy, right? And so the swan gets back, and so all the kid-eating animals get powered up, and Niko Garden is restored. It's very funny because, apart from the environment being prettier than before, and a rainbow is formed in the sky, we now have toys around Niko Garden as well. And after that, we have Yuki looking up, and the diamond was still shining. And, something special appeared, which was an egg. And here we have both Mei and all of the kid-eating animals noticing that the egg has actually the same horn as Niko-sama. So they clearly see that egg is Niko-sama's egg. But what's important is that they started talking a little bit about Niko-sama. All the kid-eating animals were super happy that Niko-sama's egg was there. And obviously Mei was very keen on taking care of the egg. And we have some interesting things. One of the characters asked which type of animal Niko-sama is, and there's no answer. They just say Niko-sama is Niko-sama. I love it. And there are other funny scenes like Mei saying that when Niko-sama hatches from the egg, Niko-sama will praise Mei a lot, and she will say Mei is the best butler ever. And Yuki's like, oh, so you're doing this just to be praised. I get it. I just love how Yuki is sincere, and she holds nothing back. Okay, she will always tell you the truth in your face. And then Mei takes the egg to take care of the egg, while the girls and Satoru are just walking around with the kid-eating animals. We have some pretty cute scenes of them, saying thank you to the girls because they saved the kid-eating animals. So they thank Komugi and Iroha. I love how Mayu says, oh, me and Yuki joined a little later. So Komugi and Iroha, kudos to them. I love that. And, having the hamster thanking Lillian because it was Lillian's episode in which the hamster was purified. And the other kid-eating animals that were saved by Nyami also talked to Nyami, thanking Yuki, thanking Yuki for everything. And Yuki was like, I didn't want to save you. But then with the way they talked to her and, saying things like, oh, we know you've changed. We know that that there is a growth in Yuki, who Yuki was and who Yuki is now. And she was a little flustered. She got a little blush in her face. I love that so much. And that is definitely important for Yuki's character. Mayu was by her side, just looking, paying attention to the conversation. She did not participate, but she laughed a little bit after it. I really like this because we are starting to have both Komugi last week and now Yuki this week, doing other things apart from Iroha and Mayu. Very nice. And so we get to a point in which we notice, or the kid-eating animals notice, that there are no more, there are other animals that are missing from Niko Garden. They're not there. And we get to see a baby gorilla missing their mom. Very sad scene, very sad, especially knowing that lots of animals go through that. That's very sad. Very, very sad. And it was playing with a branch that probably reminded it of the mom. And so all the characters were sad, but they were trying to call it to be together with them, to make it have at least a little bit company, a good time. It did not want to, just went away back to the forest. And Yuki noticed the branch. She was the only one who actually paid attention to that. And that's going to be relevant later on. And then we get to a little party. They eat some delicious stuff there. They drink some tea as well. And then when Iroha and Komugi go back, when they go back, we see that the egg is actually at Iroha's house, sleeping with Iroha. It wants to stay with Iroha. That's why I said this episode was so cool, so fast-paced, because we see them going back and forth from Niko Garden to Animal Town. I loved it. And, it felt so dynamic. Seeing Iroha take the egg back to Niko Garden. We had so many funny scenes with Mei Mei. Mei Mei was one of the stars of this episode. I really loved that so much. And, Mei Mei was trying his best to keep the egg there. But the egg kept coming back to Animal Town. And in here, before the break of the episode, we had a scene in which we saw the egg. The egg is very pretty. I love it. There's a crest underneath it. Very, very beautiful symbol. I wonder if that's going to be kind of like a symbol of their power-up. I think it's going to be something like that. Very, very pretty. I also love the colors. But we had a scene that I found really nice. The egg shines when it's happy. We could notice that a little later, but the egg was shining to be together with Iroha and Komugi. The egg was shining, and then the scene transitioned to a garu-garu egg. And the garu-garu egg is darkened. It's sad. So, okay, let me go further so that I can explain the transitions, at least that I found were incredible. The reason why. So we have this transition first, and then we have another scene later that Mei Mei comes to Earth as well, and then they start discussing, and they all get around the egg to make it warmer, because that's a way of hatching an egg. So they want to make it warmer, and not only the animals are warming the egg, the Daifku is warming the egg as well. I don't know if that's relevant, but that was cute. But we see Iroha, and I like the way Iroha presents herself to the egg. Very cute, very Iroha-like, the way she talked about herself. We have Satoru presenting himself to the egg. I feel like that is going to be super important, because Satoru says, "Hey, Niko-sama, I am Satoru. I really want to know more about Niko Garden and the Niko animals." I feel like Niko-sama will teach a lot of things to Satoru. I really feel it. And then we had another scene with Mayu that was very cute. And then they all got their hands together with the animals, warming the egg. And it's like the egg started shining again. So it was very happy having all of the friends, people with good feelings around it. At the same time, the garu-garu egg was sprouting lots of evil energy. So we have on one side a happy egg, on the other side a sad egg. In one side, an egg full of friends, full of happy people with good vibes and good intentions around it. And on the other, a sad, lonely egg, totally abandoned, left only with horrible, destructive feelings. I love the parallel they're making between eggs here, because the garu-garu egg is a bad thing, but the Niko egg, I don't know how to call it, it's different. It is surrounded by happiness, surrounded by warmth, and the garu-garu eggs are only surrounded by abandonment. Abandonment. I think that's the word. I'm sorry. I was trying to sound all poetic. I failed. But still, I feel like that's important. The parallels are very important here. And then I feel like this is going to play out in the future for us to understand the wolf. Because I feel like the wolf is also suffering of abandonment. And then we have the big gorilla. I think there were some nods to King Kong, the movie. And then we have the girls transforming and going. The animation unfortunately suffered a little bit. And I feel like this PreCure part of the episode, it could have gone so much further, but it was still good. One thing that I found cute was the way they were trying to save the animals. We have Friendy saving the squirrels. Iroha so far is, I feel like, the most left out character in Wonderful compared to the other three. She is the one that gets the least attention from the narrative, I feel like, at least. So it's nice when the narrative finds ways to include her in little details like this, because sometimes there's no way to work with a character like they worked with Yuki in this episode, for example, because she was kind of the focus. So there's no way to focus on everyone at once. So, put those little scenes in the episodes that showcase the personalities of the characters. This scene was very, very cute and very Iroha. I really liked it. But then they were not finding ways to come close to the Garu Garu, and Kurinyami found a way. She quickly used the swan power to become an angel. Who said I was an angel? I love that Fifth Harmony song. And then she became a cure with wings, and she was able to fly. Cure Wing, are you proud of Kurinyami? And look, she does not have the same vibe as the other three. She does not hug the animals. She does not, warm up to the animals like the other three. She has her own way of dealing with things. That is how Yuki deals with emotions and relationships, even with Mayu, sorry. And so she just flies, and she uses her power of flight to just avoid and dodge the attacks of the Garu Garu. And then she just casually shows the Garu Garu the branch that the baby gorilla was playing with. She understands their feelings. She knows how to get through to them. She also knows how to get through to them. And it's different than the others that go through with a hug. She will find another way, because that's just not Yuki's way of dealing with stuff. And so she was able to use Amity Lumiere together with Lillian. I found that scene so weird because she was up in the air, Lillian was in the ground, and Lillian did not even jump to use it. It was kind of like, ooh, they could have at least added a scene of Lillian jumping towards Nyami or something. But still, what matters is that Yuki was the GOAT. She was really the GOAT of it all. I loved her actions in this episode, and it just shows the growth of her character and gives her something out of Mayu. It's not only Mayu. Now she has something else going on for her. Two things that I forgot to mention while I was recording. One of them was during the battle when Yami jumped all by herself. Wonderful and Friendy were worried, and then Lillian just looked at them and said, let's trust Yuki, trust Nyami. And they did trust, they did listen to Lillian at that moment. And the second thing that I want to highlight here is that beautiful scene at the end of the episode. After they have already saved the animal, Komugi looked at Yuki and said, well, how did you know about the branch? And Yuki just said, well, I just found it on the ground. She just did not want to admit that she saw the animal playing with it, and she quickly understood the connection that there was there. And Mayu just saw that and smiled. She obviously does not want to talk for Yuki and to explain Yuki to other people, but she knows what's behind Yuki's actions. I just love their dynamic. And so at the end, the animal has returned to their mom, and Mei Mei sees that and says, oh my god, the relationship between a mom and their their baby. It's so important. So I'm not going to let go of the egg. The egg will be mine. It will be with me. Oh my God, Mei Mei, what are you doing? And so, they have a good time at the end. And when Iroha and Komugi go back, the egg is obviously there. The egg wants the warmth and probably the friendship and the happiness of the cures, of the girls of this season. And I love how Iroha goes, this egg is so strange. This is really, really incredible. Oh my God, what an episode. I feel like this just gave us some little stuff that are very relevant. Like Yuki's character, obviously. Also the parallels between Niko's egg and the Garugaru's egg. And also Satoru talking to the egg when they were going to warm it. The way he talks to the egg and asks Niko-sama to teach him important things. I feel like that is also going to be important and relevant later on in the show. Next week, a beach episode, and I just love the preview. Nyami working with all of those Nyami paws. Baby Cure Butterfly taught her a lesson, and she learned. Okay? Anyways, babies, this was my view on episode 24 from Wonderful PreCure. How did you feel about it? Please leave in the comments. Let's keep talking about it. Anyways, this is it for now. I want to take this little time to thank the members of the Magical Cinema channel. If you are a member, thank you very much for your support. And if you watched up to now, thank you so much as well. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, bye-bye.